Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on what time you are watching this video. So, why do we learn code? Why learn code? In life, we face many variables that may complicate our life. In most cases, we would handle these variables and deal with the problem at hand. It just so happens that using a programming language, any programming language, also deals with variables. So, there's a clear connection between life and programming. I see it as a relationship with returns to each other. Let me visualize it for you. Let's use paint for visualizing purposes. Let's say that this is coding. Let's fix the T, and this is learning. So you want to learn something in life. So in coding, so let's say that you have learned how to code and you use this code to create a system that helps you learn faster. I'll give examples of these later. So you use coding to make a system that helps you learn faster. So learning something faster is basically great, and you are also using codes. So you are familiarizing yourself on your basically manipulating variables using code, and you familiarize yourself with those code, making you a better coder, better at coding, and you start to learn more and more codes. Then you use more codes to learn or make a system that is helping you learn better and faster, and you also recognize those codes, and you familiarize yourself with those codes, and the cycle continues, and it is basically a good relationship since they complement each other and they keep on pushing each other to the limits. So there you go. Let me give you examples of that. Don't save. So per se that you have two variables and these variables interchange. So how would you use programming to that? So let's see this image as an example images. So in the first image, we have variable milk and sauce, or some powder and some sauce, and in the second image you have sauce on top of some powder. So let's use programming for this. So let's type string. You don't need to know about this command. Just know that I am demonstrating you on how to manipulate variables, so programming can help you learn better, or programming can help you in life. So let's say the first variable on top is the powder. So we name this variable powder equals end statement. So in Java we end statement in semicolons. So powder, let's put here what powder is it? Milk? We don't know. It's a variable. Basically you have two variables and you need to output this powder. So we need to output powder. Let's see what comes out in a program. So we should get an output of milk, since this is we print powder, and inside powder is milk, the value of milk. Then let's add another program, which is another string, and let's name this sauce. So end statement, and inside sauce we put some sauce. Since it's a variable, we don't know what it is, so some sauce. So we should okay, I forgot to output this. So sauce, output sauce. So you should get the first image, which is milk over some sauce. And then to swap these two, it's very easy. You only need to basically manipulate the variable. So let's say this is sauce, yes, sauce, and let's say this is powder, and we swap these ingredients or these variables. So some sauce and output sauce, and we replace the value of powder with milk, since we don't know what it is. Spelled right. So milk, and we output milk. We output powder. So we use variables here, any variable. So this should reverse. So it's some sauce over some milk. So we recreated, or we replicated this second image. So this is how you manipulate variables in programming, any programming language really. So see that you can use this in life, and lets you manipulate variables, which tends to make things easier. So let's use another example, a more complex one. So let's say you want to use it on music. So let's open Paint and let me visualize this for you. So let's say that you want to learn music and your instrument of choice is a guitar. So you want to study all the notes within E string. So it is the largest string, or the lowest note of string. So this is the E string, which represents the E note, and preceding that is some chord that you don't know. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is the 12th fret. So you want to know any note, so every note in this order, but you don't know what they are. So let's use code for that. So you want to learn music and you want to learn every note within that range. So programming can help you with that by letting you manipulate variables. So let's say these are the major notes. So in music we have major notes, major dash notes. So major notes includes, then here we enumerate every variable which is major notes. So any or every value of major notes. So now let's use an octave, since 8. So we need 8 variables here. E major, F major, G major. Since E, we know that we want to study the E string. So this is the E string. So what's the next note over E is F, right? So G, and we proceed to enlist every variable, and we tend to do it in orders to prevent confusions in the future. So F, E, F, G, A, then B, then C, then D, then E again. So this is an octave since we used 8 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See? We've used 8 notes, and let's output this major notes. So it should print out all the major notes. So there you go. You just outputted, or just printed all the major notes within this range. So how does this help us learn music? So it's not complete yet. So string minor notes. So notes equals, come on keyboard, equals, then we enlist here every minor note that you can think of. So what's the minor note of E? Sorry, there are no minor notes. We call those sharp notes within the scale. So sharp notes, we use sharp notes as a variable, or as the name of our variables. Then sharp notes, what is the sharp note of E? E sharp. Well, this you learn that E sharp doesn't exist, because music doesn't really let E sharp to exist. It's just music theory. So we proceed to the next value, so F sharp. So as you can see, we are inputting here all the variables that are possible for learning music. Then G sharp, then proceed to A sharp, then we proceed to B sharp. Again, B sharp doesn't exist in the scale. doesn't exist in music. I don't know if it exists in music, but it doesn't really exist in the scale of which we learn. So we proceed to the next variable. So C sharp, then D sharp, and then we get back to E, because next to D sharp is the E note. So here we have successfully inputted, or we have successfully enumerated all the minor or sharp notes. So let's output here sharp notes. Sharp notes, there you go, and then it should output all the sharp notes you have enlisted. So here you basically enumerated every note that are within the 12 string. So let me show you how that means. So E, so what proceeds with E? Since E sharp doesn't exist, you know that this is F major. Then what precedes F is F sharp. So let's just denote this as Fs for now. It's for the sake of learning. Then what precedes F sharp is the G major, and then the G sharp, etc. in this specific order. So E, what comes with E? Since we have no E sharp in our variable, we proceed to the next variable. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, since we don't have B sharp, and C sharp, D, D sharp, and E. So by this system, you learn every note within this range, and you basically use this system to learn. So let's per se a friend tell you, what is this chord? So we use our system to learn what that code is. So this is the F sharp, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp. So now we know that this note represents A sharp. So there you go. You just learned how to use programming to help you learn faster. And of course, this requires some skill. It requires you to enumerate all the variables or all the values within your variables, and there you go. It helped you just learn on the basics of music. So you want to learn about romance. So this is a given example, which is, let's say, more complex to the preceding one. So let's do this. And per se, we want to manipulate variables. So what do we say variables when it comes to romance? Let's say we want to make a decision regarding or relating to romance. So let's say that your significant others just did something that is bad, and you are thinking that, okay, maybe I want to leave this person, my significant other, because this can destroy me, or this can complicate things that is me. So we use the variables pros and cons. So pros, we enlist every variables, and as you can notice, we can use programming with this. So I don't specifically recommend using variables that are variables, because they tend to complicate things, and mostly in romance, variables are immeasurable anyways, or they are objective. You feel different love to others, or variables are subjective. You feel different love for others, and others I feel different love towards you. So let's just use a simple program on how you can make decisions. So string, then pros, okay, and here we enlist all the pros that you want. So let's say we want to enlist here that I still love him/her. Then reasons like I So I can't think about this. I'm still not well experienced about this. So let's just use I still love him and her, and he vibes with me, or she vibes with me. There you go. And then what else? She likes compliments me. So she compliments me. So that's just enough. My brain can't handle. I'm just not too experienced about these types of subjects. So let's output pros. So we should output pros, every pros that are possible, that or that I can think of. Then string cons. And string name cons that has the value of the reasons or the cons. So cons, he did something or she did something. Let's include every the two genders, the two sex, since I don't know every gender. So she did something bad. So let's describe the variables very clearly to avoid conflict or confusions in the future. And let's say she or she what's a bad trait? Snores. Yeah, there you go. So let's output this. Cons. There you go. There you go. So how do we even use this? How do we even use programming to decide on how we decide our future? So do we leave him, her, or not? Or do we leave him, her, or do we not leave him or her? So let's try, since this is an abstract variable. So it's a variable that is a variable. So you don't always love him, her. Sometimes you hate him or her because maybe you had an agreement, and you don't always vibe with him or her. So see that these variables are also variables, which tends to complicate things. But for now, we don't want to use these variables. We only cancel them out. So let's cancel them. So he snores. So if we cancel in cons, we also cancel something in pros. So he compliments me. So these variables tell something that someone snores and someone compliments you. So those believe cancel each other, since you love something, you hate something, so you have to deal with it. Then she vibes with me. Let's remove this. And she did something bad, or he did something bad. So notice that in here we have 0 cons, and here we still have 1 reason. So it's up to you on how to decide. It's just this programming shows you the data that there are still a lot more pros, or there are still a pro reason to keep her or keep him in a relationship. So there you go. So wait, can I use this in romance, since I don't know a lot about romance? Wait a minute, I can make a system to learn more about romance. I hope this helps you a lot. I'm sorry that my knowledge in romance is simply limited. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or share this video. Your support means a lot to me. Thanks for watching.